This is your math gal, Julie Harland. Please visit my website at yourmathgal.com, where all of my videos are organized by topic. This is example 18 of solving equations with fractions, and we're going to solve this equation on this video. And as always, there's more than one way to go about doing this problem. The variable's only in one place, so if you want, you can go ahead and just get the variables on one side and constants on the other by subtracting 4/7 from both sides. And that gives us, well, 3/7 minus 4/7. Since it's a common denominator, this is pretty easy to do. -1/7. If they were different denominators, you'd have to get a common denominator. All right, and then in examples 1 through I think 16, we did a lot of problems like this, like 5x equals -1/7. -1/7. There's a lot of ways you could solve this as well. I'm going to do it by this traditional method, just multiply by the reciprocal, so that the 5's cancel, and we will get x equals, be careful here, you have a negative times a positive, so it's -1/35. Up here, I want to make sure you realize that when you do 3/7 minus 4/7, again, that's going to be a -1/7. Don't forget that negative sign. Okay, method 2. So we're going to have, again, the same equation, 5x plus 4/7 equals 3/7. All right. Now, what we could do is, instead of getting the variables on one side and the constants on the other side first, we could eliminate the fractions by multiplying by the least common denominator. So there's only one number in the denominator, a 7, so that's the least common denominator. And the way I like to do it is put brackets around the entire equation, and then I'm going to say what I'm going to multiply both sides of the equation by, but I'm only going to write the 7 once. And remember, I'm going to have to distribute that 7 to all of the terms here on both sides of the equation, right? You can't just multiply 7 on one side. So that gets 7 times the 5x plus the 7 times the 4/7 equals, and then I've got the 7 times the 3/7. And if you simplify each of these, well, 7 times 5 is just 35, so I have 35x. But the 7's here cancel, so I get plus 4. The 7's on this side cancel, so I get 3. We now have an equation without any fractions. So that's the second method. You can eliminate the fractions in an equation by multiplying by the least common denominator. And now we go ahead and do our usual steps for isolating the variable and solving. We'll subtract 4 from both sides, so we have the variables on the left side in this case and constants on the right. Remember, 3 minus 4 is a -1, and then divide both sides by 35. So we end up with x equals -1/35, which is what I got when I solved it the first way up here. I got x equals -1/35. So let's go ahead and check it. So here is our equation, and we're going to check to make sure that -1/35 is the correct answer. So we have 5 times -1/35 is what I'm going to replace x with, plus 4/7. All right, now I may as well cancel here because 5 goes into 35. So if you want, think of that as 5/1. And when you cancel, what do I have at this? I've got -1/7. By the way, when you are simplifying, you can't multiply both sides by anything. You simply have to simplify this expression on the left, which means you're going to have to deal with fractions, getting uncommon denominators when necessary, etc. So I've got -1/7 plus 4/7. I've got a common denominator, that's convenient. I get 3/7. So this side simplifies to 3/7. You can't just multiply both sides by 35 or 7 or anything like that because there aren't two sides. You're just adding two fractions. Okay, on the right-hand side, it's already simplified. So I have the same number on both sides, which means this is indeed the correct answer. So x equals negative 1/35 is the correct answer. And if we want to write that more formally, using braces, we write it like this. That means that's the solution to this problem. This is your math gal, Julie Harland. Please visit my website at yourmathgal.com, where all of my videos are organized by topic.